copy of that recording?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thanks.
All right, it is recording. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. Tell me about yourself, what your position is, and then we'll get into your opposition to the rezoning.
Okay. Um, I've been living here for 45 years, right in the North Hills area. And look, lately I'm the chairman of the Midtown Citizens Advisory Council. Besides that, I've been an advocate for the neighborhood for quite a number of years. The present rezoning of North Hills in itself is fine. I mean, people expect the area to continue to grow, and growth is certainly welcome as people try to live in a suburban environment that's easily accessible to downtown. But the problem with that is that those expansions of North Hills have got to be within the planning that's been established for at least over 10 years, the comprehensive plan and the Midtown area plan. And this particular proposal faults that in a couple of different ways.
Sorry, I was muted. Go ahead and tell me about all of those ways.
Well, first and foremost is the impact on the neighborhoods surrounding North Hills. One of the basic tenets of the comprehensive plan and Midtown area plan is that you build height from the core of the development and then you taper it down to the affected neighborhoods. That way, they don't have the negative environmental impacts of shade, wind, and temperature that you can clearly see now in North Hills East. Some areas will never see shade. And in the neighborhoods that are affected, will shorten their daylight hours and be in the shade for probably half of the day. Those studies have been completed and been shown to both council and the neighbors. The other area that's a definite concern, again, in accordance with area plans, is that there's no provisions for anything greater than 20 stories. That was a carefully thought out zoning feature. And we thought that 20 stories, especially when you position them appropriately, is a situation that can be easily accommodated by the neighborhoods and don't have the negative impacts. The proposal in front of us now, even though they claim they have the right to build, they're proposing 40 stories and going down to 20 stories, all of which are against the provisions of the area plan, the comprehensive plan. Bottom line is if you stagger the heights of the buildings from the core to the perimeter, such that the perimeter has nothing greater than 4 stories, you have a much better fit with the neighborhoods around it.
So you would be okay if they did that. They started in the middle and then tapered down, as long
Yes.
as it didn't exceed that, what was it, 20 stories.
Well, really, ideally, I'd like to do it the way it's outlined in the plan. It should taper down to 4 stories, continually step down from if it has 20 down to 12 and then to 4. So you have a staggering effect, but ideally down to something that's comparable to the height of the existing neighborhoods, which are basically 1 and 2 story homes. That's
So
what you see in North Hills East, even though you see the 20 story and the 40 stories across the other side of Six Forks. Those buildings are away from the neighborhood and closer to the highway, and they don't impact the neighborhood.
Okay, so supporters of this say that density and building up helps Raleigh manage growth. What's your response to this?
I'm all for growth. I think you can accommodate both. Right now, as the applicants keep saying, they have the right to build. Well, that's true. They currently have the right to build up to 12 stories and up to 5 stories. Recent expansion of North Hills has demonstrated they can do that. But asking for something that is at least twice that of the area plan, the comprehensive plan, is just an unbearable consequence of expansion.
So I have another question that's kind of two-sided. So we'll start with if council votes yes on this, how will that change your view in terms of trust in your government, trust in your council?
What it shows is they disregarded first the area plan, which was developed after considerable community engagement, and then consolidated into a final report and approved by council. The comprehensive plan is older and definitely provides guidelines for this area as well as the rest of the story. If they approve this rezoning, what they've said to the people is that those plans have no meaning. Those plans have no bearing on the application of the size of the buildings that can be built in North Hills. Really, what it says is even though there's existing guidance, they know better than the people, and they're going to go ahead and approve the presentation provided by the applicant.
How about on the flip side? Let's say the council votes no on this. What do you hope to see for the future of North Hills?
I'd like to see planned growth in accordance with the area plans, and it can certainly be accomplished. They've demonstrated it now. They've added 2 office buildings to North Hills. They've added a residency building. So they've added both uh, apartments or condos. They've added office capabilities without exceeding the area plan. It can be done. And I think it just takes mediation and working with the public, working with the council to come up with a plan that both meets the guidance of the area as well as satisfaction for the residents.
Tell me about what you all are planning tomorrow for the public comment session.
Well, unfortunately, we expended our 12 minutes, our opportunity to speak in front of council. So the public will have no say tomorrow. We have to sit there and listen as council either deliberates, discusses, or makes their final decision. Totally unfair. They've asked for further committee meetings to discuss transportation and transit. Unfortunately, that meeting will come after they've made their decision rather than before it. So, what I expect is that we'll have a large outcome of people to show support. However, I don't think it'll have any impact on the council's decision.
What's your message to people maybe who live in the area who may feel apathetic or just don't really care about this? How would you make them care about this?
It's very difficult to get the word out to thousands of people that live in the area. We've tried to do our best and we've reached maybe 1,000 people, but most people are unaware of what's around them and what's going to continue to be built. This is what happened with the buildings along St. Albans. People suddenly realize, where did this come from? Without realizing they had the opportunity to be involved prior to that, especially during the rezoning phase. I hope that people get more involved, just as they should get more involved in voting. It's something that impacts their direct community and it impacts their environment. Time to get involved is now, and hopefully they will show up tomorrow to make their voices heard, at least physically.
And wear red, right?
And wear red. Red means stop, and that is our
I
position.
gotcha. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Larry?
Yeah, I think that unfortunately, North Hills has grown considerably over what people expected it to be. The expansion in North Hills East never ends. And then we still have the Innovation Center and the Exchange further down St. Albans. Unfortunately, the city tabled the expansion of Six Forks Road, one of the main corridors right past North Hills. And there hasn't been any infrastructure spending since we first passed the Midtown Area Plan 10 years ago. The city has got to do a better job of looking at development prior to making a decision. They've got to take a better look at infrastructure, whether it's capable of handling that development. Currently, there's an ETJ who wants to extraterritorial jurisdiction that wants to join the city. They evaluate it. They evaluate it for stormwater capability, fire capability, and transportation capabilities. Why don't they do the same thing within the city before going ahead and just stamping the development before determining whether the infrastructure can support it?
Okay. Well, if that's all you have to add, I think we're done here. Thank you so much again. And I can send you a copy of this as well.
I do appreciate that. Thank you very
Of
much.
course.